All right, welcome to Triple R RecruitLook's Roundtable Review Softball Edition. Today with me, Division I, University of North Dakota, we have Don Stoppa. Don, thanks for being on the panel today.
Good to be here.
Representing Division II, Regis University out of Colorado, we have Nicole Thompson. Nicole, nice to connect with you as well.
Thanks for having me.
And representing our junior college out of North Platte Community College in Nebraska, we have Coach Janelle Higgins. Janelle, how are you?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me.
And representing NAI out of Calumet College of St. Joseph, also known as CCSJ, Coach Dave Lopez. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So we're just going to go around the horn. We're going to start with Dave. We'll go to Jeanette, Nicole, and then down, or Don, Janelle, Nicole, and then down to Dave. If you would, tell me, what's the current status right now of your teams?
Oh, you're talking
We're going to go with Dave. Go ahead, Don. Dave, I'm going to go with you last. I'm sorry. Don, go ahead.
Well, the current status, NCAA Division I there's no recruiting at all. It's a dead period until at the earliest August 1st. That's the current place we're in right now. So it's a lot of phone calls, watching video, and FaceTime. There's zero face-to-face contact for any of us other than the online version.
Our dead period got lifted May 15th, so we can have face-to-face contact. We can go recruiting. It just depends on what your campus is doing. Like our campus is closed to the public until July 1. So if I do bring recruits on, they have to have their temperature checked and wear a mask and stuff like that. But our dead period got lifted May 15th.
Nicole?
We have a dead period until the end of here. Well, I guess that was yesterday of May, or today. And then we go into our quiet period, which is sometimes confused with D1. So our Division II quiet period is we're allowed to work camps now, non-institutional, and we can have recruits come on campus, and that's how we can get our face-to-face. But we still cannot go and or recruit out at tournaments. So that's where it's similar with D1.
How about you, Dave Lopez?
We do not have any restrictions. It's kind of depending on the institution itself. So us at Calumet College, we are not allowed to do anything until June 1st. We can't have anybody on campus until July 1st. So we had a month where we can start getting out and recruit, but we can't have anybody for visits until July. So as of right now, I mean, that could change depending on, the governor and everything else that goes day to day. But basically, like everybody else, the last 6-7 weeks, all I've been doing is phone calls, FaceTime, emails, all that good stuff.
Let's just go backwards. So Dave, I'll start with you. How has COVID changed your team?
I don't know if it's changed our team. I just think it's, watching the kids miss each other. That's the one thing I see them, they communicate a lot. We try to have meetings at least once or twice a month with them as a group. I personally keep in touch with them about 2 times a week. I try to call half the team, and then the next day call the other half team just to check in with them, make sure everything's going good. We've actually already started incorporating next year's class now that they're done with school into our group meetings and stuff, so they can already start to get to know each other. So really, I mean, it really hasn't changed much other than the fact that, we didn't get to play ball.
Nicole?
I think it just got us a little bit more tech savvy. I know the kids are already tech savvy, but for us coaches as well, we have a group me message of being able to stay on top of them with that. And I just think that it's grown the team even just more of the humble side of it of the biting at the bit of getting to be with each other again and getting back on and hopefully getting back on the field in the fall when we all come back. So I would say the same with coaches. It's not changed a lot, but maybe even grown the team a little bit more together, just, checking on each other, whether they're in different parts of the country. And we've tried to do too a lot with our social media of we have a thing going on right now. It's Name the Ranger. So we try to see if they can guess who the fun facts is about each other and the different teammates. So we're just getting excited to get the freshmen introduced with the remaining team and hopefully get things going in fall.
How about you, Janelle?
Kind of like the other two, we've become a lot more tech savvy. We Zoomed every week while we were in session. We'll Zoom another, probably once a month or so coming in for the rest of the summer. Getting those new incoming freshmen introduced to the returners that are coming back. Just trying to get them to start communicating more. And I think it just opened up a lot of people's eyes. They always talk about like today could be your last game. Make sure you leave it all out on the field. And it showed you, that can happen for anything, pandemic, whatever it could be. You played your last game. You might not have had the best game, but you don't get another one and we're not sure when. So just gave them that kind of that humbleness of you got to play and you got to do what you need to do right away and not wait for the next day.
Coach Stopa?
Yeah, well, I think the current situation is actually going to make us a bit closer as a team. Generally most years, school year ends, graduation's over, hugs, high fives, and get lost. They're gone for the summer. Whereas now we're still doing Zooms. We've broken it up by position. We've broken it up by year. We've broken it up by having the whole team, and then our incoming class, we've had them on together. So we're actually having a lot more, if you want to call this face-to-face contact with our players than the traditional summer. So I think it's going to actually help us out a little bit on, on the team aspect of things. And then on the university side, they understand through marketing and media that recruiting is our bread and butter. So they've just done an outstanding job highlighting some of our kids right now, getting stuff out on the kids that have signed with us recently. So it's kind of helped us out a little bit too, because one of our young ladies earned an accolade last week, and it was out immediately everywhere. It was blasted on, all your different social media aspects. So it's been pretty cool. It sucks to be away from them because there is a number of our girls that still live in Grand Forks throughout the summer. They pop in, they go to the cages, get some swings in, throw a ball, get some ground balls with each other. They can't do that now because all of our facilities are still so that's the one thing that's changed us a little bit on the negative side is they don't have the weight room to just go in there and get a lift in. They don't have the cages to get some swings in. So that's tough there. But like I said, we actually have more contact this summer than usual. As most summers, they get a phone call or an email saying, hey, you've got to do this paperwork. You got to get this done. This is what we're doing. Where that's about all the contact we have. And this year we've had a ton and we still have stuff scheduled throughout the whole summer.
Nicole, I'm going to go with you, start with you with this question. Tell me what was like the end of the season when it just snap of fingers and it's over. I mean, how did you relay to your team and how did they take that?
Yeah, it was definitely a difficult time and everything happened so fast. We went from having a weekend series with no fans on I think it was a Tuesday, the next day, Wednesday, boom, you're done. No more games. Seasons were canceled. So it was such a fast transition that, it was really hard to grasp those words to tell a group of young women. Like I would say in my time of being a head coach, that was probably the hardest thing that I've had to tell a group of girls of, hey, you've worked this hard all season, all off season. You put in the work and to get things kind of just taken away from you this quick. It was hard, especially we didn't have that, the idea or the plan that the NCAA gave out to those seniors. So some of the time we were telling those seniors, hey, we don't know yet. We don't know what's going to happen with your year. And that was probably the hardest of, hey, that could have just been your last game last Saturday. So trying to spin it though, also being positive was what we try to do with our coaching staff of, lean on the girls, stay positive that you had the time that you did. So, but like I said, it was really quick. It was hard, trying to grasp those words to try to tell them that, hey, everything happens for a reason. We're doing it for the better, the good of the whole country, the United States, America, the whole world. But at the same time, I definitely felt for them. I mean, I don't know what I would have done as a player if that was something that happened to me. So.
Coach Lopez, how's it going to change your team with having everybody get their year back? How's that change the way you look forward and what you're doing?
Well, having the year back, once they made that decision, we kind of pulled in our seniors and to talk to them, see who was going to come back, who wasn't. We had 4 seniors. One's coming back, one's returning. The other 3 are going to move on to their careers. I got one that's going to grad school. She's actually going to be our grad assistant next year. But it also affected our juniors. I had a junior right off the bat say, hey, I'm coming back for a 5th year, one of my pitchers. And so from a recruiting aspect, it changed a lot for me, because here I was trying to bring in 7 kids this year based on what we were losing. We ended up bringing in 10 this year to take us to the biggest roster size we've ever had, at 24. Well, knowing that a couple of those juniors are coming back next year, we're going to probably only bring in 5 kids instead of recruiting 7 kids. So, and currently we already have 1 committed. So that was hard. And, I got to look at the sophomores and freshmen as well, because they're going to have that opportunity, but I'm not even going to have that discussion with them until their junior year. Depending on what they want to do, if they're going to continue on to grad school here, or they need more credits there, or they need another year or whatever. But I think it's too early for them to make that type of decision. But I think from a recruiting aspect, it changed things immensely.
Janelle, how does it affect you being in junior college with that whole situation of everybody getting their year back?
It's a toss-up kind of for us, because there's only so many classes kids can take at a junior college level. Like, we usually push them in, push them out pretty quick. They only get 65 credits that they need to transfer. Most colleges won't take more than 65. So it's really hard if you have your kids on track to graduate in that 2 years, what classes do they take for the next year? So even, like I have 2 sophomores that are coming back. One wants to go into our nursing program, and there's a year wait list on that. So she needs to get into some classes. So it's like, it worked for her. But like my other sophomores that, want to play, they've taken everything they can. So there's nothing like, there's one that I would love to have to come back, but I don't have, it would be a waste of year, and I can't pay for her housing. So it's just going to be a waste. So it's better to get her to a 4-year and let her have those 3 years at a 4-year. So there's kids that you want to keep that you just can't, because there's nothing for them to do. And as a coach, you don't I'm not going to tell a kid, yeah, you should come back and we'll put you in 12 PE credits. You'll I would love to do that, but it doesn't make sense for, especially when they have to pay for housing to do that to a kid. I'd rather get her to a 4-year and let her have 3 more years there.
Makes complete sense. Don, up to you. What fears do you have at the Division I level looking forward that may or may not occur?
Well, the only fears I really have, on the commitment standpoint, there's a bunch of kids that have to make rush decisions, or not fully informed decisions. That's what kind of scares me a little bit, as we all understand the transfer portal and how that's all working, which is a whole nother conversation. But right now we've got kids that we just committed a junior college player a couple weeks ago, and it's a no look. She can't see campus. We made a bunch of virtual tours and all that for her, and same with a bunch of the 21s we're talking to. We're sending them a lot of stuff that we handmade for them, university information, but these kids are not going to get on campus before we expect them to commit. Our 21 class is pretty much done, but we're still looking for 1 or 2 pieces, and those kids aren't going to get to see campus before we want them to commit. So the decision-making process, not that it's uninformed, I just don't think they're going to get the full picture. We get our kids on campus and they see this place, and it's awesome. They get to see it on video. Yeah, okay, it looks okay. But we can show off so much more when we get into the face. And it's going to be right across the country. The transfer thing is pretty big topic right now. What's it going to be like next year when the kids made a somewhat formed opinion of a university or a college, and then go there and then realize, now that I finally got to see it, maybe this isn't the place for me. So that's one of the fears that I have about what's going on. There's going to be a lot of decisions made without all of the information.
I'm going to open this up to anybody in the panel that wants to answer it. And if all of you do, that's fine as well. But how do you guys see travel and changing going forward? And will the number of games you guys play change going forward?
I'll start off. As far as right now, we're just planning everything as normal as possibly can be. As far as our schedule, I just finished our schedule for next spring about a week ago and turned it in. But we're not being told that we can't travel from the administration or anything like that. We're just playing everything like it's normal, and if need be, then we'll make adjustments. The NAA right now is we'll see if it both goes through, because right now we play 28 dates. With some of those days we'll pick up some triple headers, like on our spring trip. There's a motion on the table right now to switch it to 56 games. Which will make a little bit of a difference, but for the most part, and most NAI coaches I've spoke to, everybody's kind of just playing everything as normal as can be.
Okay. Anybody else?
Us right now at the D2, we're down to, we went from 56 dates to 44. And to kind of give you guys a look at with us in the RMAC conference, we have 40 conference games. So that leaves us right now with 4 non-conference games, which is a huge cut from years in the past. And so, I mean, it's right now of figuring out, do I use those 4 games for a tournament? Do I bring people onto campus? We don't necessarily know what our budget's going to be yet for next year. So, you know, what is it, are we going to be able to travel? Do we need to bring people into campus? That sort of thing. So that's probably one of my biggest fears, is just, you know, we use those non-conference, every coach knows, we use those non-conference games to see what our team's like in the spring, in the early spring, go down and travel those conferences that we need for regional points and help us out with postseason. It's hard when we play 40 conference games and now we only have 4 games to kind of play with. So that's going to be tricky to kind of see where is the best fit for us and Regis and financially and for the girls.
Has anybody here on the panel heard that your school may not start on time? No, everybody will start on time. Everybody with students on campus as well?
Yep.
Well, that's the plan right now.
Okay.
Us here at UND, the plan is to have kids on campus, but as you guys know, the situation is incredibly fluid. We get updates, you know, not only from the NCAA, but from the government every couple of days, like you guys do. But right now we're full steam ahead is the plan. They've even shown a plan now to start reopening some of our facilities.
Will this,
yeah, we're the same.
go ahead, Dave.
We're the same thing. July 1st is going to be when they're going to start opening up the facilities to the athletes again, so they can get in there and start training and everything. And then August 1st, the school itself will be open to people to come in and do what they need to do.
Does anybody here foresee any kind of change in fall softball for your teams?
I would say that's going to be a hot topic right now, you know, because fortunately / unfortunately, you know, football, volleyball, soccer, they're going to be the test pilots for this whole thing. You know, they get going a few weeks, obviously, before we do, with them being fall sports. If everything goes smoothly for them, I think we're going to get an opportunity to have, I would say, a limited fall. Hopefully not. But at Division I level, you know, we don't have a big fall period anyways. But as of right now, I can't see us getting the full fall in, but I certainly hope we do.
Don, I'm going to go to you with this first. With the change of not needing the ACT coming in, did that change the way you looked at bringing some kids in, or did it not affect you at all?
Well, I don't know if the NCAA has made a final decision on that one yet. You know, the test scores, and that's the interesting part. A number of schools have gone away with the test scores for admissions purposes. But for eligibility purposes, I still think there's some gray area there. And I'm not sure if there's final decisions yet on any of that.
Okay. Janelle, I'm going to ask you this, and I'm going to go to Dave with it next. Kids that had to take pass-fail that did not get a letter grade, how is that going to be looked at for GPA-wise for eligibility?
I don't know. I can tell you for our classes, all of our classes went as normal, and so they all got grades. I know that the NJCAA put in a thing that they to be eligible for the fall, so like volleyball, because with our fall, they are eligible as soon as they're here. But like for volleyball, they only have to have like 6 credits that are a passing grade now.
Okay.
Until fall, once we start spring, then they have to be back in, like to the normal status. But they kind of gave them a little bit of a pass for this spring semester because of the COVID and having to do everything online, that they only had to they only are counting 6 credits. So as long as they pass 2 classes out of their total load, they'll be fine for the fall. So since we didn't have any pass fail grades, it's going to help us, but they also went in and made the change to lighten the eligibility for them as well.
Well, let me change it from here. How it look for like high school kids that you might recruit in the future that have a pass fail on their transcripts from this last semester that did not get a letter grade from wherever at. Like I'm in Nevada, pretty much everything here was pass fail. There was a few things that got to letter grades, but the majority of it was pass fail. So how will that be looked at upon eligibility? Does anybody know?
I think from the NAI perspective right now, they really haven't come out with any thing in stone, other than the fact that, you know, they got rid of the test scores, you know, because it's even like, you know, at the NAI, we have the, you know, you have to have 3 of the 4, you got to meet 3 of the 4 standards, which GPA, 50% also not even do, they don't rate.
I think Dave froze.
Well,
Go ahead, Don.
I'll jump on the topic there. That's another one that is still being kind of looked at, I think, at all levels. Traditionally, the pass-fail went down as a C over previous years for classes like that. So if you pass it, you got a C. If you didn't pass, well, counted as an F. So GPA-wise, that can, you know, hurt a lot of kids and help a few.
Sure.
But I still think that one's being looked at because that's going to affect the next few years of classes. So the NCAA has already started to adjust, as you mentioned, with the ACT and test scores. But this is going to be constant adjusting because there's new topics almost every day on the academic side of things too. But yeah, like I said, in previous years, that was a C, and I don't know if they can be held to that same standard in your state if everything was pass-fail. Whereas I know here on this, I'm on the Minnesota side of the border where I live, kids could go either way. So their GPA still would end up much higher than a 2 if it was just a pass-fail.
And then let's start with Nicole, and then I'll kind of call people out from there. But advice as a scout director that helps kids get matched up with you guys for league and scholarships and stuff. A lot of families are scared. I mean, they're hearing all these changes and going, what's this mean for my daughter who's a 21? What's this mean for my daughter who's a 22? Nicole, I'll start with you. What kind of advice can you lend out to families that may be watching this going, okay, what do I do? Where do I start? You know, what's it going to look like for my daughter who's a 21 or a 22?
Yeah, it's definitely an uncertain time for everyone. So, you know, I can't advise more about the parents and kids of, you know, staying on top of things, especially with a lot of us right now that all we can do is literally email, text, or call kids to stay on top of things. You know, if it takes a kid 3 weeks right now to get back to someone, to a coach, not probably a good thing for them, you know, especially if some of us can't get out to the softball field to see a kid or recruit them. So I would say that, you know, if you're sending videos, to be smart with what the videos that you're sending, if it's a skills video, anything that you want to put the best of your student athlete involved with that. So that would be my advice there. Just staying positive is like everything is a fluid, and to keep every avenue open, whether your dream is the D1, you know, then keep every avenue open. NCAA, D2, NAI, JUCO, that would be my advice to all the kids. And then truly, you know, find the school that's the best fit for you, whether you have to do it virtually or, you know, communicating with the coach, but to still do your research. You know, a lot of kids that are just throwing out emails, and Regis, you know, we're a very high academic school, and some of them I'm like, how did you do any of your research? We don't even have that program or that major for you. So really make sure that you can sit down, do the research, and don't, you know, take a leap without kind of figuring out where you want to go with your future here. So,
Janelle, how about from you?
The same thing, just you know, I get emails every day from kids that are, you know, I want to major in marine biology. I think North Platte would be a great fit. And I'm like, did you look where North Platte's at? Did you see what we're doing? Like, we're not even close. Like, we have a river that goes through the town. You know, we got the North Platte North and the North Platte South. Like, we don't have, you know, like, we can get you some biology classes. But I think a lot of the recruiting sites tell these kids to just mass email these coaches, and they don't do their research. And so then when you respond back to them, they're like, oh, well, and they don't have a clue. So just to do the research and to just ask questions, you know, I always talk to the kids. I'll send them the virtual tour, and then I'll have them contact current players that are on the team, and then usually an athlete that's graduated through the program and went on and played, or, you know, so they get that perspective of what it's like to go from a 2-year to a 4-year, the different, you know, work ethic that you're going to have to continue on, just to get them to have as much information and knowledge as they can. But I do think kids are just going to start jumping on the first offer that they get. And then I think that transfer portal is going to just explode the next year, because I think a lot of people are scared, you know, like, and they're just going to jump as fast as they can on that first offer. And then when they get there, when they realize like, oh, I should have done some more research, that transfer portal is going to just explode with more kids.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the transfer portal a year from now is going to be quite interesting in how it looks.
Yeah.
Dave, I'm going to go down to you. Do you see anything in the future where possibly coaches will start using more live streaming of videos to see kids play if you can't get out and watch them?
I believe so, without a doubt. So there's I was just talking to a guy yesterday by the name of Eric Blakely. He runs a Crossroads event in the Midwest, and he uses Notre Dame every year. So they're actually going to use our facility this summer to run this camp instead of Notre Dame, because obviously the D1 can't do it. So, but he's going to bring on the video stuff. So I think that's going to play a huge role in it. You know, I was kind of peeking in on some games myself yesterday down in Florida because I can't be there, you know. I sat around for about an hour, 2 hours, just watched softball games of some teams from down there. I think it could be a way of the future. You know, like we said earlier, one of the coaches said earlier, you know, we're learning the technology too now, and it's it might be a little bit of advantage because, you know, we can't be everywhere at one time. So, you know, when we finally do get back out there and we're on the recruiting trail, who knows, you know, if they start setting up all this video, I could be out in Vegas and, okay, I know a kid's playing in Florida. Same time, I might be able to turn on my phone and watch them. So I think it is going to change things a lot for the recruiting, like watching live games. You know, watching the live games compared to a recruiting video, it's still the same concept as being there. You know, you get to see these kids play live. You get to see it in real time. So I can definitely see it being the future.
Don, do you see like the bigger events that have been happening in the past, like the City of Lights, the big event in Denver? Do you see that changing at all? Or do you think it's just going to kind of pick back up where it left off eventually?
You know, after this summer, I firmly believe things are going to pick back up.
Okay.
But I think the live streaming is going to become bigger and better. But I have a word of caution with that one. You know, I'm working on a school laptop that weighs about 200 pounds here, and video quality is not the greatest from 1982. You know, the videos we're going to get, some of these are going to be tiny little videos. So it's hard to see who the kids are. So we're almost going to need play-by-play or color graphics to know that so-and-so's up to bat. So-and-so's playing shortstop, where that ball was hit there. Because if I'm trying to watch a video of a kid that's, you know, approximately 1/4 inch tall, can't read her number, not even sure what jersey number or color she's wearing, it's going to be really hard to tell who they are. So there's going to be a lot of kinks and bumps in the road with the video streaming too, to start out. And that's going to be tough. But there's a few events right now that are already streaming in somewhat of a pay-per-view kind of deal. But I can see that getting down to being more and more useful. As Dave just mentioned, I'd love it if I'm in Vegas watching a game, I get a text message, okay, Nicole's coming up to bat. Flip open my phone and watch Nicole's at bat while I'm watching the game live. Trust me, I'll do it. I've got 2 phones, my school, mine, and my eyes. I'm watching 3 at bats at once.
Yep.
I can see something like that happening. I can also see some kind of technology getting developed to where the team sheets and the player profile sheets would be available on the live stream, where they could come up if they're up to bat and maybe their profile sheet pops up or something. I can see something like that possibly happening. But I do agree that I think the streaming is going to become bigger with coaches as we go forward with this, because I don't know how much recruiting budgets are going to take a hit through all these cuts and what's going to happen in the future. And especially, we kind of talked about it, if we lose some fall sports that help generate funds to the rest of the athletic department, and that doesn't happen, something's got to give somewhere. So I think it's going to get creative as we go. Janelle, I'm going to start with you on this one, and then Don, I want you to follow up afterwards. When you're looking at a prospective student athlete, obviously talent and grades are the two things that everybody's looking at, but what are some intangibles you look for somebody you go, all right, I want to bring this person on board possibly?
Are they a good human? Do they know please and thank you? Do they know how to hold open a door? What are their parents like? It becomes more of what is their character off the field. All of us coaches can tweak their hitting. We can tweak their fielding. We can help them be better softball players. But if they're not a good person, they're not a good human, we're not going to be able to change that. And so just really looking at those off the field characteristics a lot in their family, and what, do they hop around from team to team? We only get them for 2 years. So we want to keep them for those 2 years. We usually try to bring in 8 to 10 kids a year, just to kind of keep, half and half. So if you have a class that you only bring 3 back, then your freshman class are outnumbering them, 13 to 14 freshmen to 3, sophomores. It's rough. So just trying to keep those numbers so that they can develop as a softball player and become a better person. But we can't do that if they come in as a bad person already. And I think JUCO, everybody's like, oh, I'll go to JUCO if I don't get my dream D1, D2 offer, I'll just go and find a JUCO. And I think a lot of people are finding out that JUCOs play a high level of ball. And so you can't just walk in and play. Like, we're not a Build-A-Bear factory. Like, we just can't make a softball player out of you. You have to come in with a little bit of knowledge and athletic ability about the game. And we can't, go to JUCO and get your 2 years and develop more. We can develop players, but they have to have a base. And so I think that's where a lot of the misconception and the misunderstanding of, oh, it's a JUCO, they can be, they can ride the bench and then go to a JUCO and play. And it's not that way. And so you have a lot of kids that think they're high-level players and they're not. And so just educating them and then making sure they're a good person.
Don?
Yeah, following up with what Janelle said, the biggest thing is for finding good people. We already know before we hit the field who's got the talent, or if stroll along and find a kid that has a good swing or a good arm, we see the talent right away. It's all the rest of the stuff that we've got to figure out, because culture is the biggest word in college athletics now. Is there a good culture amongst your program? So two things that I really like to do is, obviously when I get a chance, I get there an hour before game time. How do they warm up? Are they doing what they need to do to get ready for the day? Are they interacting with their peers well, interacting with their coaches well? And then what I also like to do is find out, okay, which one's her parents? I'll even ask the coaches, hey, is mom and dad here today? And first thing they'll point them out. I won't go say hello or anything, but I want to see how they do. Because the kids are not always, but most time they're a product of their family. So how it works with mom and dad and brothers and sisters and grandma and grandpa is how it might be how they are. So I really like to see them more than just play the game, because they've already got my attention. I know they've got the talent, but we have to have good people. And that's the toughest thing to do, because we generally get to see them, a couple times. Then it's okay. She can play, seems like a good kid. We like her. And then find out a little bit later down the road, well, there was something we missed. And that's unfortunate. So we do that as a program. We try and dig in with the family a little bit more to learn more about the kid beyond the ball player.
Dave, I'm going to start with you on this one. Do you think individual team camps are going to become bigger than they already are, with you guys being able to get eyes on somebody that you're interested in?
I think for our level, at the NAIA level, absolutely. You know, we already have a couple camps planned, and as of right now, they're still on. I wanted to add more this summer, but obviously with everything that's going on, we're not doing it. But I think it will, without a doubt, at our level. I can't speak for all levels, but yeah, it is definitely going to be something that we're going to do more of to get these kids in there. I've noticed a lot of teams now, they're backing out of tournaments now that coaches can't be there, especially the D1 coaches. So you're getting a lot of kids that are backing out of tournaments. I've already got tons of emails. Are you having a camp? Are you having a camp? So yeah, I think that's going to change for us.
How about you, Nicole?
I would say the same, especially with the camps. I've seen a lot of kids, the camps that then follow with a tournament afterwards. Unfortunately, for me to be able to go to a one-day camp and not be able to go to those tournaments, it's just not feasible with our budget right now. Or if that tournament is live streamed, you know, it's hard for me to tell my AD, hey, can we, you know, get this out of the budget to go work a camp for one day that's 3 states away that I probably would have done, but then I can't stay for the tournament the 3 days afterwards. So I do think I've gotten a lot more emails, unfortunately, with us not being able to hold a camp at our institution right now either. But those are the type of where those kids are going to want to see more one-on-one reaction or interaction with the coaches as well. You know, when they come to campus on that camp, they can, you know, interact with us versus us going to a tournament and just sitting again and watching their games and evaluating them.
Don, how about for your level?
Yeah, well, that's one of the big things right now is we can't do anything until August 1st. And we generally have a camp every September on campus where, you know, we get a pretty good response from kids that we're already looking at, and a lot of kids want to walk in and just learn. So camps are huge, but right now everything is still so up in the air. Ours is still scheduled, but we're not sure if it's going to happen or not. But if we had the facilities to do it, you know, or we do have the facilities to do it, we'd love to do some winter camps. But for us being as far north as we are, we're not sure people can get on the roads and get to us. We're not sure planes are going to land in Grand Forks or Fargo to get people to our winter camps, because we have probably, I'll almost undoubtedly say, probably the best indoor facility in America. But when it's minus 35 and winds blowing at 60 miles an hour, we can't expect campers to show up. So that September camp for us right now is so important to what we can do. So I don't think there's any doubt right now, Division I level, Division II, for sure, camps are huge.
What about for junior college, you know?
We don't do a whole lot of camps just because of our staffing. Like, if I'm going to run a camp and trying to run a camp and get kids to come to campus, it's just not feasible. So we don't do a whole lot of camps. We do little small camps in the fall for the community and surrounding communities to get younger kids. That's about the extent of our camps. We don't do a whole lot in the summer just because it's only me and I'm usually out on the road.
Last question, we're going to go all the way around, and Don, I'll start with you. Outlook, what you're hoping for spring of 21 for, you know, University of North Dakota?
Well, we've actually had a pretty good year, you know, recruiting wise. We kind of hit what we wanted to. One of our seniors is coming back. You know, our coaching staff, this will be the 3rd straight year where we're all intact. You know, our volunteer assistant graduating has gone off to find a job now. But we're intact. We've got a great group of kids. So, you know, as a softball program, we feel we're in a good place to be successful. The university itself, our athletics department, is taking a lot of great steps because it's the awareness is the problem. You know, we've got so many things we want to do, and every day they've come up with some plans. They've got committees to what we have to do to get back to athletics here at the University of North Dakota, much like most institutions are doing. But things keep on changing. So our biggest obstacles right now is what's the equipment we need? How do we afford that equipment? And let's get kids back on campus and get going. We've got a great panel that's being led by our athletic director, and our interim president actually just accepted a job as a chief medical person with the governor for the state of North Dakota. And he was leading the university's efforts to start. So, you know, we had a great guy running the show there. So I think North Dakota, we're a little bit ahead of the pack, I think, for the small, mid-sized, mid-majors on getting back to business and back to athletics. But it all starts with our administration. They know we're chomping at the bit. There's no ands or buts about it. We want to get going, and they're trying to find us ways to get back to work and get back to practice, get our kids on campus. So I think for my institution alone, I think it looks good. No doubt that every program in America is going to take a financial hit. What it is, we don't know. My athletic director, I think he's up to about 6 or 7 scenarios now of here's my 6 or 7 possible budgets, and this is what we're going to do. So until that day comes when we're told we're going on as normal right now. Nothing's changed. He's told us we're going to take a hit, and we respect that. But we don't know what it's going to be. And as he also pointed out, what we may start with in September may not be the budget we have in January. That's another side of the coin that could happen. But for right now, the University of North Dakota has told us, hey, we're moving on and we're going to get things done like we always do. But we just have to understand we're going to have to tighten up our belts a little bit to make things happen. But as going back to the softball side of things, we feel good about where we are. And our group of kids, once again, great group of people, and that's going to help us through this whole situation.
Well, best of luck to you, and how long you leaving it grow?
This beard grows till I get back to the ball field or if I get back to the office, one way or the other.
Janelle, what about the outlook for your team?
I think it's going to be a good outlook. I mean, we got a lot of talented freshmen coming in. I got a good core group of sophomores coming back. So I think it's going to be good. I think we're kind of in that same boat where our administration's trying to get us to, understand that our budgets are going to take a hit. I was lucky enough, since we didn't use all of our budget for spring, that I was able to get ahead and get some stuff done and bought now for next year, using the budget to kind of help out if we do take that cut, that we don't hurt what we need. But they're trying to, tell us just, hey, it could be a 1%, it could be a 2%, it could be a 5%, so just we sit down and we go through the numbers, and we, lucky enough, our AD lets us determine where we're going to take that cut from, what line item are we going to take money from. So just working with him, trying to figure out where we're going to take that money from, and then trying to just go as normal as we can right now and do the virtual tours and wait for kids to get back on campus in August.
Well, best of luck to you. I hope things all work out in North Platte for you.
Thank you.
Nicole, what about what you're looking for at Regis?
Yeah, I am very excited because this will be my second year. So I took over last year at Regis. So I'm excited for the outlook of having them a whole year.
Okay.
With the season cut short, I felt like we were just getting our momentum going and, seeing where we're at starting in the RMAC. So I can't say enough about Regis and the admin that we've had to help me. I had all 4 of my seniors be able to return and keep my scholarship for my freshmen coming in. So that was a huge plus for us. And it makes me even more excited, and we're wanting to get back on that field even more here this fall, is seeing where we can now mesh everything. So, and now they're not having to get used to a whole new coaching staff. We can kind of just pick up where we left off in the fall and start running. So just like everyone else, we know that we're going to take a financial hit. So just finding, the positives and being able to be actually still with each other, being able to hopefully start practices in the fall, and build that way now back up to, letting our seniors have that extra year, all the work that we put in the fall to be able to pay off in the spring. So I'm very excited about that. I have a very good freshman class coming in that I think will help. And not only now, I have those seniors coming back to kind of keep that leadership already there. So I'm excited and looking forward to it.
Well, hopefully you get a full season, you have your first full season, and good luck to you as well.
Yeah,
Coach
thank you.
Lopez, how about at CCSJ? What are you looking out for?
I'm excited. So this will be my 5th year as the head coach. I've been there 8 years total. But now all the recruits there are my recruits. And we have progressively gotten better every year, not just athletically, but academically. We actually have our first presidential scholar coming in this year on the softball team. So I'm really pumped up about about that. But just to see the progressiveness that we've had, this year was it was just so. You go back to earlier with your conversation about, or your question about how we had to tell the girls, and that was heartbreaking, you know? So after we told them just staying pumped up and getting the new kids that are coming in involved already, and the girls are already getting to know each other, I'm really excited. And I think our administration has done an outstanding job. Our vice president of marketing athletics and our president and our AD, I mean, we have weekly meetings and they keep us updated on everything. You know, if we have to take a cut this fall, meaning not playing some games to save some money and stuff like that, then that's what we got to do. I mean, we can scrimmage against each other. We can, you know, get all the practice time in, and if that means waiting to play games in the spring, then so be it. But I know the girls are excited. They're, you know, they're chomping at the bit just as well as us coaches are, to get back out there on the field. So hopefully, you know, everything goes as planned. We're you know, everything, like, again, we're doing everything as normal as possible. I hate the saying the new normal, because I don't want to see the new normal. I just want to see everything get back to normal. And if that means it takes 6 months or a year, then we'll do what we got to do as a group.
Well, good luck to you. And for families that are out there watching this, you got 4 really good coaches at 4 really good programs for different levels. And as you heard them talk earlier, please do your research. It's something I have harped for a long time. Please don't just send out a generic email to a million coaches that says the same thing and half of them doesn't even, you know, correspond to one of these coaches. Make sure you've done your homework and let them know why you're interested in their school academically and athletically. And then maybe you can get an actual really good response from one of these coaches or another coach down the road that can possibly be a great fit for you and your family. If you have questions in regards to RecruitLook and how we can help you or assist you to getting your name out there and getting some exposure, my name's Tommy Canale. You can find me on the recruitlook.com website. You can reach out to me or on any of my social media platforms. You can DM me and I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. Don, thanks so much. Janelle, Nicole, Dave, I appreciate you guys taking time on a Sunday to talk with me.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
All right.